Hey guys, how's it going? Today I want to speak about the subject of how does society form our personality? If you really think about it, intrinsically, deep down, all humans, they pretty much have all the same kind of emotions. They have fear, sadness, they want to be loved. We have families, we have somewhat of a fear of death. At the same time, we also have this whole thing that we breathe, our heartbeats, and different blood types, but at the same time they're all compatible no matter from where you're from, what religion you're from, what race you're from. Within those norms of being O positive, A, B, all these things, we are compatible. But the thing is, at the same time, we see that within societies, personalities are different. And there's different religions, there's different political affiliations and all these things. And at the same time, we are very similar. But the thing is that if you really look at it, how much does society really actually form us in personality? If you really think about it, who decided at one point or another that we were going to eat beef, chicken, pork? Well, that's more the Western society. But if you go into other societies, in Asia and stuff like that, they're going to eat tarantulas, they're going to be eating bugs, they might be eating different kinds of meats. Could be horse, could be rabbit, could be all these things. And what seems delicious within one culture actually kind of seems disgusting in another. And that's why I really believe that whatever you've been told as a kid or whatever you've been used to really literally tells you how you must be. People aren't born a certain way. In the old times, well, there used to be a lot of racism. There still is, but it's different. People used to believe what their parents said, what their education said, so they basically evolved in that way because they didn't know. And at the same time, now with technology, with the advent of internet and all these things, I really do think that there's been some sort of evolution, which is great because people are more aware. There's still a lot of ignorance, of course, but at the same time, there's a lot more people that are aware. There's still a lot of flat earthers out there, but I mean, the science still kind of like tells you and can kind of correct these things, and even people who might have been ignorant at some time can hopefully become educated. But I do think that what you see on television, what is told to you from very young age, can dramatically influence who you are personality-wise. And at the same time, I don't think we're also that different from animals, if you really think about it, because they did tests, for example, in the 50s, where they would make people, little kids, look at themselves in the mirror, and they would have like a little dot on their forehead. And once they saw themselves in the mirror, they would recognize that that dot was on their forehead, and they would scrape it off. And that was kind of the test to see if you had recognition for yourself. But the problem is that when they did that test with animals such as chimpanzees, or they did it with dogs, or they did it with even fish and stuff like that, some of them passed at some point, but some of them didn't really pass, and they were looking at the intelligence and assessing the intelligence from that. But then we got to understand that these animals, basically, they have different ways of seeing things. For example, dogs don't see that well. They see kind of blurry and stuff like that. And really their sense is more avid with the nose. So the fact of testing it through a visual cue, if they had intelligence or not, didn't really make sense. And I think the thing is that when you look at personality and when you look at different societies, we look at it from an exterior point of view, from a visual cue, be it from the way that you appear physically, just because of your skin color or how you dress or how you speak. But I do think that the way that you definitely speak a language, the way that you eat food, the way that family values are associated within the society that you were born in will definitely form the way that you are. Why, for example, a lot of people from Central or South America get married very young? Well, because in their family values, it's the importance of marriage, the importance of having a family at a young age. Whereas in more westernized societies, the more the technology developed, the more people would have less kids, and they would also have kids at a much later age. And that shows again how values that are given to you by society, but how values that are told to you since a young age can intrinsically, literally change the way that you think and the way that you are. So in the end, I think values are amazing, and I think that they do give a certain order to our society, but at the same time, I think that later on in life, if you are an adult and you are aware of all these things, and a lot of people seek happiness, and this is why we talk about these things, if you really want to be your own self, you gotta look at those values, see what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and then kind of change these things. And you could even take values from other cultures because they might work better for your lifestyle. So think twice and research and just try to create yourself. After all, we're all ever evolving, and things will never stop as long as you're living. So what you might have liked at one point might be different at some other point. But that's it. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.